Well, Manchester United is going to play its 32nd game of the season. And remember, in the 31 games we've gone ahead to play this season, we're going ahead to collect 60 points. We've already surpassed we already surpassed the tally of last season by 2 points, because last season we had 58 points in the entire 38 games played, and this time round we are in here and we are having 60, meaning that if at all we win today, we'll be at 63 points, and obviously we'll be like 12 points away from really clinching that mark of really knowing that we're going to head to really cap the fourth or third place of the Premier League table, to see to it that we've secured Champions League football that we're going to head to not to play in the previous season. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Nachitende Esther, you are already into the mix and you're really having your views already expressed. And if at all you want to be part of this live session and your comments to be read live on this channel as you're really doing this live stream, do as Nachitende Esther into the live chat, telling me your thoughts about this game. And after bringing you the starting 11s, I'm going to be here to really break down everything as it's really going to be said in there for you. Ten Hag is going to hate to surprise us, and very many players have been kept on the bench around, and I think it was all about their performances in the game of Tottenham Hotspur, and has gone in for a very drastic change and very many drastic changes in this game of Aston Villa. And David De Gea is in, Lindelof is in, Bruno Fernandes is in, Rashford is in, Malacia starts ever since he started against when did he last start? Last started when? I don't even remember. You know, that is Malacia. Ericsson is back. Sabitzer starts. Casemiro is in. Diego Dello is in. Luke Shaw is in. And Jadon Sancho is in. Butland, Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Brandon Williams, Fred, Facundo Pellistri, Anthony Santos, Anton Martial, Wout Weghorst making it to the bench of Manchester United, meaning that the manager has decided to go in for those players that really performed very well in that game of United versus Spurs, and those that really had a very bad spell. Amid this scheme having brought them off the bench and they disappointed, they have not gone ahead to find themselves in a position of really getting to this team. For Alejandro Garnacho, some of us expected him to come in tournament to the match squad, meaning that he was too early to return for this game, but on the trip against Brighton on Thursday, I think he'll be part of the match squad, because he needs like some more 5 to 7 days to really come in and really get back into action as Alejandro Garnacho. That is the starting 11 of Manchester United, and the substitutes as named by Erik ten Hag. Confirmed starting 11 is in. Let's go to Aston Villa and see who have they brought in. They're having Martinez, they're having Young, they're having Konsa, Mings, Alex Moreno, McGuinn, Didonka, Douglas Luiz, Jacob Ramsey, Buendia, and Oli Watkins. That is the starting 11 of Aston Villa. When you look at the subs, they're having Olsen, Diego Carlos, Traore, Chambers, Duran, Digne, Rivan, O'Reilly, and K. Young. That is the starting. Those are the substitutes of a team that is visiting us at Old Trafford. Remember, the last time we played Aston Villa in the Premier League, not into the League Cup. The last time we played them in the Premier League, they beat us by 1-0. I remember Bruno Fernandes missed out on a penalty in the dying minutes and hit it over the bar. It was like was scoring in a rugby goal, and he just dispatched it onto the straightforward end, and we really missed out on at least getting a point. But we really had Ronaldo by then, Cavani, Paul Pogba, very many players were in, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was still the manager. And this time around, they come to Old Trafford when we lost the first leg of this fixture at Aston Villa by 3-1. Remember, we had already played away in Spain. Real Sociedad we beat by 1-1 scored by Alejandro Garnacho. Then we came in through and really we looked tired, and Aston Villa put us to sword. They are coming to Old Trafford, one of the stadiums that we all know that it has been turned into a fortress by Erik ten Hag. Now, I'm having Nachitende Esther. What we need is to win, because Ten Hag has brought all players he has. That's it. You're right, because when you look at that team, it shows you that Ten Hag has gone ahead to come in through and obviously put in what we call intensity players. He knows that this game is going to be won on the intensity. If at all we run more than Aston Villa, even if the players like it more than Aston Villa, then we'll find ourselves in a position of really winning this beautiful game of football. That's why that's what Eric Ten Hag is really talking about into the mix as far as this beautiful game of football is concerned that we're going to be playing at Old Trafford. And Eric Ten Hag has gone ahead to really bring a team as you see it there. And the main reason as to why I go to Google and bring you all this, it's all about the combination, all the formation that Eric Ten Hag is going to take on today to face a side called Aston Villa. So when you look at Ten Hag, he has gone in for a 4-2-3-1 system. David De Gea remains in goal. Obviously, he's the best goalkeeper that we have at Old Trafford, unless otherwise in the summer they get someone else, but he's the best we have. Diego Dello coming in to play onto the right back as expected. He's really the best right back that Ten Hag really loves. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka has found himself onto the bench this time around and maybe can come on through and really play a job later. Or maybe the manager is really benching him for the game of Thursday because we have to go ahead and really play against Brighton at Amex Stadium. And remember, they're having Mitoma, and Mitoma is one of those players that came out and really said Aaron Wan-Bissaka is unbelievable. He never went past him. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka, ever since this season started, has seen himself being beaten once in the entire very many games are going to play for Manchester, meaning that Ten Hag is really also looking forward to the game of Brighton, that he needs a very, very solid right back known as Bissaka to face Mitoma into that game that we're going to play on Thursday. So I think that's why he has been benched. Then Tyrell Malacia returns, I think, after a very long spell. He last started against Sevilla for Manchester United, and he has spent the following games without starting and has been coming off the bench. Against Nottingham Forest, he came off the bench. Against Sevilla away, did he even play a minute in that game? Did he even? So even when we played Brighton in the FA Cup, he came off the bench. Even on Thursday against Tottenham Hotspur, he just came off the bench to play for United. So that means Ten Hag has gone ahead to really get him back and tell him that I'm now giving you a chance to rectify the mistakes that you made in the game of Sevilla. That's why United draw 2-2 with Sevilla at Old Trafford. And remember, we failed to really get the 3 points or the maximum points from that fixture because of Tyrell Malacia's first mistake before Harry Maguire nodded the ball in his own net. So I think he's really going to find himself facing the likes of McGuinn and very many others. And I think he might be having the best of the game today because we are at Old Trafford. Then Luke Shaw playing on the left side of the central defense, with Lindelof playing onto the right side of the central defense. We all know that this is the best central defense partnership alive that we have at Old Trafford. We know that our first choice centre backs, that is Lisandro Martinez playing off the left and Rafael Varane playing off the right, are really away. And that's why Eric Ten Hag is really improvising to play with Luke Shaw. But Harry Maguire is back from injury, and I never know what Ten Hag's plan is, but I think let's not risk by getting in Harry Maguire in any of these games because he's a calamity. We all know that. He's a calamity and has gone ahead to orchestrate that on very many different occasions. Then the double pivot maintained Casemiro and Eriksen. Ever since Casemiro returned in the game of Sevilla, I think he has gone ahead to have bad spells. Apart from the game he played against Tottenham Hotspur, I think for Tottenham Hotspur, he's not back to the Casemiro that we knew before he was really red carded against Southampton. But I think we saw some glimpses of Casemiro. You know, his progressive passing, intersections, you know, the tackles, you know. So I think he's really so much nearing his point. And to me, I think I want him to use these games to really get himself ready for the game of Man City. That is the finale of the FA Cup. That's where I want him to be really at full strength when you're playing Man City. And I think these games are going to help them and to those areas. Now, Sabitzer surprisingly is starting into the central attack midfield area. I think he deserves to start because he's one of those players that are going to have to show Erik ten Hag that every time you give me a chance, I really utilize it. And I very much want to see him play alongside Casemiro and Eriksen in that midfield, because he's going to enjoy it better and better and better. And you expect goals out of him because he scored a brace against Sevilla. He went ahead to score against Fulham. Every time he's playing in those advanced positions, he is really a threat to the team. And us playing at Old Trafford, that puts us in a position of really knowing that we are having a very threatening effort coming in from this player known as Sabitzer, because he's really a beast in his own island. And I really like the way he plays because he really gives us a lot of options forward. He's clinical. When you look at the way he finishes, he just sends instincts in your mind that why doesn't Erik ten Hag try him out as a false number 9 sometimes, because the goals that he scored saw Anton Martial drop deep, and when Martial dropped deep, he just found himself in shooting positions and he scored a brace. That is a man known as Sabitzer. So to me, I really like Sabitzer, and he's one of those players that I really tip that Ten Hag is going to keep at Manchester United, because he wants to be having a very huge squad with players that are really versatile. Look at Sabitzer. He's a versatile player, and I think he's one of those that you don't want to really lose out, especially if at all his price tag is at only £20 million. That is an absolute steal. To me, I think he's going to be signed. Now, I think Bruno Fernandes, there is a mistake made here. He's going to be played onto the right attacking side of the midfield, and then Sancho is going to be played onto the left attacking side of the midfield. But whoever plays there, I think they're going to do wonders. Sancho on target against Tottenham Hotspur, scoring the first goal, looking great on the day. Bruno Fernandes finding himself playing wide. I think that's a very good initiative by Erik ten Hag, because I've always wanted to see these 4 players on the field of play, and the only way you will have to see them on the field of play, I think it's to play Bruno Fernandes in the wide areas, or you can put Rashford here and get Sabitzer lead the line as a false 9, and Bruno plays in the central attacking midfield position. So that's the starting 11 of Manchester United that Erik ten Hag has gone ahead to name to do the needful, with Marcus Rashford, one of those players that are gone ahead to really prove to us that he's not going to stop to score. Even in the midweek, he scored against a team called Tottenham Hotspur and took his tally of the Premier League to 16 and his entire tally of the season to 29. And if at all he scores today, of which I know he's going to score, he's going to find himself in a position of really having scored 30 goals a season. And I believe he can put the cap of 40 to this. I think he can score 40 goals this season. Matchday and the Esther, I'm expecting Rashford to do the needful. Obviously, I'm also expecting him to do the needful today to really take us to their promised land, because he's going to lead the line. When you look at that midfield, it's all full of creativity. All full of creativity. Eriksen, Sancho, Sabitzer, Bruno Fernandes. 4 players surrounding Marcus Rashford are all good at creating in goals. That really sends us to a level of knowing that this is going to be something that we should expect from Marcus Rashford, to go in and really put in those balls at the back of the net, because creativity is really going to be so much high. If at all, we had very many shots on target and chances created in the game of Spurs, and Rashford saw himself go close 4 times on target away at Spurs. That means we are going to put ourselves in a situation of really attacking Aston Villa and creating very many chances, because we are going to be having a crowd of close to 70,000 fans behind these players, and they are going to be roaring and obviously calling in for us to get that win. So I think it's all about Rashford's composure that is going to see us continue, do the needful or not. But I think we need to be a little bit clinical this time around, because the previous games we're going to hit at Old Trafford, we've created very many chances. Against Sevilla, we only scored 2, would have even scored 5 at halftime. Against Brentford, we only scored 1, but would have gone ahead to score like 4 at halftime. Sorry, before halftime. Then against Everton, for that, would have even scored 7, in the first half, though we found ourselves in a position of only scoring 2, you understand? So this is the game of football where you would love to find yourself in a position of really killing off the chances that we get, because even Aston Villa is a very good side when it comes to really killing off their chances. They might not have many on the day, but they might be so much clinical. So we need to get back to really being clinical. Let's see whoever gets a chance, batting it in the back of the net to really give United the best of the chances that we deserve to really accomplish the top four. Because why we need this game of football is, if we win today, we would have gone ahead to 63 points. And we only need to win all our games at Old Trafford to find ourselves in a position of really qualifying for the Champions League. Today, against Aston Villa, the next game will be against Chelsea. The other one will be against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and the last one will be against Fulham. So we win those 4 games at Old Trafford. Obviously, our top 4 will be done and we'll be playing the Champions League. And why is playing the Champions League important to the club of Manchester United? It's important for a reason that if we end the Champions League, Ten Hag is going to be able to get in players that he wants. That's it. If we end the Champions League, Ten Hag can easily convince players to come on and play of the quality that he deserves. But if you're out of the Champions League again, it won't really act well for the club of Manchester United, and the finances of the club will be affected again. So we need to be playing the Champions League, and that's why we need to kill off this game as soon as possible. Dan, United updates. Yes, Rokan David. All right, thank you for watching in through, Dan. Issa Ronald Molinda, United will win. I do fancy us to really win, but it looks like we need to keep a clean sheet again today. And you know why? We keep a clean sheet today, it will take David De Gea to how many clean sheets? To 15 clean sheets. And I think if he keeps clean sheets in the remaining 4 games at Old Trafford, I think no one will match him as far as clean sheets are concerned, because Nick Pope is having 13, David De Gea is having 14. If he keeps more 3 or 4, I think we'll be having 18. So I think it will be so much important for him to keep a clean sheet. So today, I want us to keep a clean sheet, and I think Luke Shaw and Lindelof are going to help us play what we call a high line. You know, we are going to press Aston Villa through the entire 90, and that will be courtesy of the high line of Lindelof and Luke Shaw, because at least they are fast into their transitions and they can recover back very well from the attacking position to really get us into a very good defensive format as a club of Manchester United. Malacia is not good enough to start. Dan United updates. I think he's good, but he just had a little bit of a bad spell against Sevilla. And I think against Tottenham Hotspur, I've seen people blaming him, but the only thing he would have done to really stop Harry Kane from really putting in that cross was to foul him, you know? And fouling him at that time would have called in for a yellow card, but he's a very good player. I think none of the players that Ten Hag has gone ahead to sign in the summer have gone ahead to disappoint, even if it's Anthony. Anthony right now has 8 goals and 3 assists in the season. So, and people have been comparing him with Jack Grealish, but Grealish's first season, he never knocked down the number of goals that we've seen Anthony score, and he never put in performances that Anthony is putting in. So I think this is no-brainer that all the players of Eric Ten Hag he signed in the summer have gone ahead to really look good and right for me. So I think Malacia is good. He's good. And even the likes of Casemiro's, Ericsson's, they're not playing very well ever since they returned. But we know that there has been that lapse of them not playing, and that's why there has been a little bit of dip in form, but they'll soon get back to the levels where I want them to be. Then Musafa Kasamba, United winning 3-1. Guys, I would love us to win 3-0. That's it. And I think we can, because last time they paid a visit in the Carabao Cup, we beat them by 4-1. They're the first ones to score and went ahead to pull one back from Anton Martial, and then 3 others later from Bruno, Fred, and Marcus Rashford. So I think we can really keep a clean sheet tonight with Luke Shaw and Lindelof, us playing from Old Trafford. Good. One will say, but we bottled a 2-0 lead against Tottenham Hotspur last Thursday. But just get to know that we are playing away from home. And our performances from home this season have been really abysmal. And that is one of the things we need to rectify next season. If I don't rectify it and we keep our fortress as Old Trafford, you know, I think we'll find ourselves really hitting close to 96 points next season. And if at all you hit 90 plus points, you are obviously into what we call a title conversation and a title battle in the mix there. Then Mwajuma Kauchi, Man United, a must win. All right. Thank you very much for watching through. It's a must win for United. We need to win. We need to win. We need to win. We need to get back to winning ways. And I think ever since we lost to Newcastle away from home, we had gone ahead to collect a couple of wins. 1-0 against Brentford at Old Trafford, 2-0 against Everton at Old Trafford, and a draw away at Tottenham Hotspur. So I would love to see us really lift up this and really win and get back to winning ways with 3 points. Old Trafford should be a fortress, and let's go, guys. Today, the Prida reacts. Aston Villa aren't easy. I understand they're not an easy side, and we not take them for granted. But I think what makes it an easy game, this is Old Trafford. We are playing at Old Trafford, you know? If we're going to hit to be the likes of Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, not yet Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, you know, and very many other teams that are really performing better than Aston Villa, then why can't Aston Villa fall on the sword of Old Trafford? Because they need to find themselves in their level and understand that they beat us 3-1 at their stadium. That is the Villa Park, and they've come to Old Trafford. This is a fortress, and Ten Hag has gone ahead to put in a new ingredient in these players and mindset that at Old Trafford we don't lose. You know, I think we are going to start it on the high and obviously cause a lot of havoc for them. In the next minute, I'm going to go to what we call Aston Villa, and I show you how they've gone ahead to stand and who is responsible for who and which battles should we expect into this 11 of Aston Villa versus the 11 of Manchester United. I'm having Ali Guma. Aston Villa might give us a hard time. I understand, but this is Old Trafford. They have to crumble here. They have to crumble. How come you are talking about them giving us a hard time without not giving with us not giving them a hard time? It should be us to first give them a hard time before they do, you know? And if at all we take our chances, I think we can be like 3 goals up at halftime. That's it. The problem of United for the previous games at Old Trafford has been we don't kill off our chances. We create very many chances, but we don't kill them off. So this is where I call upon Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Sabitzer, and Bruno Fernandes to really take our chances. If we take our chances, we will be in a better position of really hitting Aston Villa onto the break and obviously creating very many chances that are really good for us to go ahead and really execute into the final third. That's it. Ali Guma, Sancho, Rashford, and Anthony have to step up. Yeah, but Anthony has not yet started. Anthony has not started, and that really takes me back to show you the starting 11 of Manchester United, because most of you looks like you don't have a grip of what the team looks like. Very many changes have been made by Erik Ten Hag. Malacia has come in for Bissaka, Dalo, Lindelof, and Luke Shaw. Casemiro, Eriksson. Then we are having Sancho, Sabitzer, Bruno Fernandes, and Marcus Rashford. Sabitzer starts and Malacia starts, meaning that Anton Martial is benched, Anthony Santos is benched, and very many other players are really on the bench. So that is the starting 11 of Manchester United, and that's what Erik Ten Hag is going to head to front to really get him immediate success into this game of football. And I think that side it can really get him the win that he wants and obviously kill off this game immediately, because we are having lots of players with a goal skill set that can really kill off this beautiful game of football. So I'm having Peacemaker. Good morning, guys. Thank you. Depending where you're watching us from, but here it's really good afternoon. But I don't know where you're watching us from. We really need to win this game by all means, and I think we are going to win it because this is Old Trafford. This is Old Trafford. Unless otherwise we get a red card and we're man down, that's when I'll expect us to crumble. But with us playing 11 against 11, these are kind of games that you expect Erik Ten Hag to go on and really collect the desired points for a team of Manchester United. Then Kasamba, big up, bro. Happy Sunday. I like that. I like that. I like that. It's a sore win for United. I really believe it's going to be a win for Manchester United. And we just have to find ourselves in a position of really killing off this game immediately and obviously calling off the worst from Aston Villa. We should just beat them hands down. I think Man United clean sheet today, if at all. You put Sabitzer ahead of Rashford. Sabitzer ahead of Rashford. I think you would have said you put Sabitzer to lead the line. Rashford plays wide left. Bruno Fernandes gets back into the middle. That's it. But I think Rashford has shown us that in the previous game we played against Tottenham Hotspur, he scored one and he found himself creating one. So you put him to lead the line. And then Sabitzer will be playing behind Marcus Rashford. And I think Sabitzer has a very good communication with Marcus Rashford, Sancho, and very many players. And him being a very talented player, that puts him in a position of really causing a lot of havoc into the final third of the open. And I think we are going to see a lot of pressing from Manchester United, playing on the front foot. First goal is important for this fixture. We shouldn't see ourselves falling behind like we did last time in the Carabao Cup and when we are playing them away at Villa Park. So I call upon for the players of United to put in the shift that is well deserved. And what is that? Let's kill off the game at halftime. On Thursday, we are having a very huge game against Brighton. We don't need to really use a lot of energy to really see ourselves go past Aston Villa. We just need to beat them. Saidi, one knock. Ten Hag should style up his substitute tactics to have a clean sheet. All right. But to me, I think it's not the problem of Erik Ten Hag to bring on Anton Martial and Fred in the game of Tottenham Hotspur and they underperform. That's it. Because that's what he has. What would you want him to front of the field of play? So I think he's really doing great, and him doing great has shown us be a good team, and that's why we are into the finale of the FA Cup. We've already won the Carabao Cup, and we are in for the top 4. And I think we can get the 3rd position. That's it. So I think we just need to give Erik Ten Hag the trust. He doesn't have the quality that he deserves. If at all he gets back in the summer, you'll see to it that the substitutes he makes will be really perfect because he will be having the quality that he deserves. But right now, he's having a little bit of a downgrade every time he makes certain substitutes. Makumbi Hussein, it's bad when Aaron Bissaka was out. It cannot be bad, guys. It cannot be bad. I think you rather play Bissaka. You rather start Bissaka in the game of Brighton than playing him in this game. You just rest him now. Let Dalot play his game. In the game of Brighton, obviously, it's Bissaka starting against Mitoma. So, and Dalot has shown us that he can get the job done, and he has always done it, even at the beginning of the season. There is Opio Ivan Rokan. Please promise me that Maguire won't be in the lineup. Otherwise, he's our downfall in the field of play always. He's on the bench. He's on the bench, and he has not gone ahead to start today. But with the resting of Aaron Bissaka and starting him in the game of Brighton, I'm having some thoughts that maybe Ten Hag might start him in the game of Brighton. That's it. I just think like that. I don't know whether I'm just having a wrong thought about me, but if he puts down Bissaka, that means he's ready to really start Bissaka in the game of Brighton with Harry Maguire on the right side of the central defense. But for this game, he is out. He's on the bench. He is on the bench. Then Aliguma, Sabitzer, Fernandes, Eriksson, and Casemiro. Wow, that's great. I can't wait to see this combination. Me too. Though, when they stood like that against Spurs, we really lost shape. We really lost shape and creativity in the midfield. And I think the cause of that was Fred, who came in for Eriksson, failed to do his job. Fred gave away the ball much easily. He gave away the ball 9 times in the 30 minutes he played for Manchester United. So I think that really led to a total breakdown of our attack. That's it. So let's wait and see how these 4 really perform. I've always wanted to see them on the field of play because they are what we call pure talent. Pure talent. And if at all you're not mistaken, in the final of the FA Cup, you might find Erik Ten Hag bringing this midfield like that. He might bring them to play like that into that beautiful game of football. Then Kasamba, is it true that Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Neymar coming to United, that's out. It's only Neymar who is being linked to Manchester United, but I don't see Neymar coming to Manchester United. I think Ten Hag has a different quality of players he deserves, and we don't need a player who can really play on the wide left, because we are having a lot of players that can play that side. Anton Martial, Rashford, Sancho, Alejandro Garnacho. You're having a lot of players who can play that side. But I think if one of those players was really left-footed and could play as a right attacking midfield, I would have said yeah. But I don't see any of those players coming to Manchester United. For Kylian Mbappe, maybe, but we have the money to purchase Kylian Mbappe. I think not this season. Kylian Mbappe is sold out to an idea of being at PSG until the summer of 2024. So he's not coming in here. Vinicius Junior, he won't leave Real Madrid. Then Promise Andrew. Good evening, David. Sorry for coming late. Man United 3. All right. Thanks for your prediction. I do believe that we're going to put like 3 goals past this team of Aston Villa. Then why you can't show the game live? I don't have the rights. Guys. But if at all I had the rights, I would have gone ahead to stream the game live, but I don't have the rights. Guys. Then I'm having Jet Miles Bright. Casemiro was off since he came back from the ban. He looks somehow bad, but hope he regains. I believe in the game of Spurs, he gave us flashes of him really getting back to the Casemiro we know. And I think he just needed to get these other games in his legs. And I think today is going to be one of those games that you expect to see Casemiro performing at his full length. That's it. Even Eriksen has been off. That's it. So let's wait and see how that happens. In Marcus Rashford, he found himself firing all cylinders in the game of Tottenham Hotspur, but it showed you that he was a little bit off. So he just needs to find himself in a position. Of really firing all cylinders again for the club of Manchester United. But I think Casemiro will find his form again. And this is the game where we need him to perform to his best as we prepare to go to play away at Brighton. Then BJ Mala, the very presence of Harry Maguire demoralizes the entire team. In addition, Maguire being the captain is like putting salt in the wound. That's it. I think the best description is putting salt in milk, because when you put salt in milk, milk dies off. The entire team really dies off because of Harry Maguire, and those vibes of Harry Maguire are really so much bad for the team of Manchester United. And thank you, Mala, for really telling us that. And he's that kind of player whose vibes don't resonate with the entire team of United. So I think it's high time. The summer is just 30 days away, and I think we should really sell off this man. He should leave. So when you look at Aston Villa, they're playing a system of 4-2-3-1. Martinez in goal, Ashley Young playing as a right back. And I think at the age of Ashley Young, this is the time we should go ahead and really torment him. If we don't torment him, then we won't be showing what we as a team are when it comes to really putting people like these ones to bed. People that we should be put to bed should include these players like Ashley Young, because I know he's old and we need to run him left, right, and center and really cause a lot of havoc for him. So to me, let's wait and see how this is going to pan out for a team of Manchester United. Then Moreno, decent right back for me. He's really a very good right back. I've watched a very good left back. I've watched him play some good minutes, and I think has been really decent. Mings and Konsa, good defense, but I think we can torment it. David Luiz and Didonka, double pivot, a very good midfield. Buendia, all right. So that means Casemiro, Eriksen, and Sabitzer should take over this midfield. Jacob Ramsey playing as a left winger, meaning that's going to face Diego Dallo. And McGinn is going to play as a right midfielder, facing Tyrell Malacia with Ole Watkins leading the line. Ole Watkins is really in epic form, guys. He's really in epic form, and we need to find a solution to stop him from really putting in those goals past the back line of Manchester United. Then Apriliana Dewi, live stream in chat, YouTube. All right. Thank you for watching it through. And guys, that's what I had for you. Thank you for watching it. Smash the like button, comment, and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, I've ended the poll, and you guys have gone ahead to let me know that 88% United win. 9% they've called for draw and 2% have called in for an Aston Villa win, meaning that people of Manchester United are really believing that you're winning this game of football. So, guys, let's catch ourselves again after the game of football is done and dusted to come in and do what we call the match reaction here. Thank you for watching it through. I sign out for now. See you later. But you're going to be keeping an eye onto that Newcastle game versus Southampton and Liverpool versus Tottenham Hotspur later in the night. I sign out for now. See you later. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. I'm out.